It took a lot longer than I expected, especially for the second time building one of these nurseries. The interior really is what kills me each time. I built out a completely different layout for the interior, aside from this bubble column collection area. This time it is for bamboo. Let me walk you over there. I made a significantly smaller area for the bamboo than the sugarcane because bamboo grows far quicker than sugarcane. So you can see over there the allays working the sugarcane farm, and on this side the allays are working the bamboo farm. The bamboo grows rapidly. I got the farm working late last night, probably hung out for about an hour with it functioning, and I already have 2 double chests full and more flowing in as we speak. I also connected a auto crafter circuit that crafts planks. So this auto crafter here, when it gathers 9 pieces of bamboo, it feeds it into this crafter, which just has the 1 open slot. So it takes the bamboo block and converts it into 4 bamboo planks. When these 2 double chests, or 3 double chests are completely full, this circuit, is it? Oh, 4. Jeez. Yeah, sorry. So when these 4 double chests are full, this circuit will kick in. Yeah, so that circuit will be kicking in soon. I just wanted to store a little bit. I moved the bamboo from these chests to here just to store a little bit, so I had some on hand no matter what. Very similarly to the sugarcane farm, I have a trapdoor accessible here to an underground area where I have a water stream. This simple observer clock kicks this dropper into action as bamboo funnels through. The only issue that I've had so far is capacity. So as you can see, this blank area right here is where the allays drop the bamboo. I'm using mud because mud is not a full block, so hoppers can pick up items, as you can see right there, items through the mud block. Another observer clock connected to a note block with I believe this is Cold's skin, Cold's head, that silences the note block, so I don't have to hear the doon, 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 doon over and over. Very simple flying machine with 2 oxidized copper bulbs on the end just for aesthetics. This is just a simple return station. So essentially, every time this daylight sensor gets a different power level, it sends this guy off. That is the underground area. Let me show you what else I got going on in this nursery number 2. This one I packed full of farms. So next farm is a bee farm. So I have 5 hives, 2 with shears and 3 with bottles. These guys aren't producing yet. There's only a few bees. I'm trying to breed them up. Here, let's do that really quick. Come here, dude. They're probably cooled down by now. Yep. All right, baby bee, cutest mob ever. This is primarily aesthetic except for this farm over here, which is your standard filter system. So it has a comparator connected through a block to the beehive. When that comparator reaches a, I think, power level of 3, that means the honey is flowing from these beehives and it dispenses bottles or shears to the beehive, and then said bottle or honeycombs will flow through the hoppers into those chests back here. So let me just quickly show you the collection system. It's very, very simple. Right here I have 2 double chests. This one is for honeycomb. Oh, I am already getting in 5 honey bottles, so we're already successfully getting supply. Okay, 3rd farm is not complete. It is something that I have to do and I'm not looking forward to. This is a wheat farm with an allay on a lead. This guy really, really likes to wander around, but yeah, he's hidden in the wheat right now. He is holding a piece of wheats. What I'm going to do is move a villager into this area. He will convert into a farmer because the only workstation is a composter over here. I have another observer clock under here with another head to silence the note block. And this little hopper on a mine cart is cycling because what's going to happen is this little dude will drop wheat after the farmer's inventory is full. So the farmer's going to take a while. He's going to farm this land. He's going to be packed full of seeds and wheat. And as soon as his inventory is packed full, he will begin leaving the wheat. This guy will pick it up. Sometimes this guy will actually beat the farmer from picking it up in general, because these guys are super quick, the allays. And he will drop it into this area, which will dispense it into this double chest. What do we got? 3 farms into 4 if you separate the honeycombs from the honey bottles in this one nursery area. So very useful. So that's kind of my theme with my builds in general on Astraea, is to make them not only aesthetic, but also make them purposeful and functional. The one glaring exception right now is my greenhouse. I have no idea what I'm going to put in there. I'm assuming it's going to be my main base with the storage and everything, but I'm kind of running into a bit of creative block as far as decorating. I can certainly decorate it to make it just look like a greenhouse or a conservatory, you know, just pack it full of plants and what have you, but I kind of want to make it a little bit more useful. But integrating, you know, shelves of chests like I have here into a conservatory is a little odd in my mind. It just doesn't quite make sense, but I might do it nonetheless. Next step, move the villager from my underground iron farm villager bunker into this area. And there's no way up right now except for a ladder, so this is gonna be a chore. I decided to move the villager on stream. There was a little bit of a mishap. It's all on a VOD that I have under the live tab on my channel and on my Twitch account. So if you want to check that out, it's a bit of a long one. You know, it's a stream. Hour and 45 minutes, I believe, is the runtime. That is another thing that I wanted to mention in this episode. I am streaming now, Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. I am going to stream typically Minecraft content, but I may move to other games. Vintage Story has piqued my interest, so that might make an appearance. Primarily, it's going to be just hanging out, chilling in this world, the Astraea server, or in my Forever world. Having said that, the other footage in the montage was a birch tree that I was building, so let's walk you through those additions on the property. Right over here, you'll see a little piece of the trunk of the birch tree that you saw in the montage. You may have noticed this additional tree. If you're keeping up with my episodes, this is an additional tree to you. This was also built on stream, and you can check out the process and my thinking behind the shading and, you know, stuff like that. Birch tree and a bunch of changes to the pond. So the last time you saw the pond, there were 2 trees around it. This hedge was made of jungle and oak leaves, so it was very, very bright. So this is kind of the new approach that I'm experimenting with. A mix of birch and azalea leaves, flowering azalea and regular azalea. I think it mutes the hedge a little bit, gets it a little bit closer to realism, and I just kind of like the variety of the mixed azalea and birch. I know this isn't baked in shading necessarily like I'm doing with the trees, but it has a cool vibe. I also recently went on a hunt for all the new blocks in 1.21.5. So that's the new bush. And then I also have firefly bushes over here kind of tucked in into the shade, so they do start creating the firefly particles fairly early in the night before it gets dark. I also have a couple more bushes hidden over here. You may have noticed in the nursery, I have the cactus flower, yellow wildflowers interspersed with the pink petals. I was trying to work on a cool bench design. I'm not the first person to do this, but armor stands with gravity off sunk into the ground make a very convincing leg to a bench. I'm going to let these guys oxidize fully. Most of the park benches, at least near me, are green, so I think that'll fit in really well. I also threw in a little trash can with a hopper in, surrounded by oak trapdoors. Oh yeah, leaf debris. I have that interspersed quite a bit. I might be overusing it right now, but I'm just kind of experimenting. Yeah, I'm trying to do it on all the corners where you have, like, you know, high contrast. So podzol meets gravel or andesite. You know, I have the leaf debris just tucked in the corner there. Over here as well. I don't have that much resin right now. I'm going to create a resin farm and dot this tree, which will turn into like a citrus tree, like an orange tree or something along those lines. Here's some of the dried grasses I just have interspersed through my rock along with the dead bushes. Here's more bushes over here. I really like how the bushes fit in with the oak leaves. You can kind of expand your bush, your shrubbery, and more of a rounded out feel by putting them in the corners like this. I am planning a nature area where I'll have all the varieties of farm animals, like a petting zoo essentially, tucked in somewhere. I also have quite a labor-intensive plan for terraforming. I never wanted the island to be a plateau like this, this flat table. What I'm going to do, as opposed to building up, I want the greenhouse and all these structures to be at pretty much the highest part of the island. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start digging down again after I blew up the entire island. I'm going to start digging down again. I'm going to basically smooth out some of these cliff faces, probably only about 4 or 5 blocks in places, so it won't be even. Some edges will be more carved down than others. I want to kind of get a feel closer to this side of the island. So this is actually natural terrain right here. Okay, as you can see, it goes all the way down to ocean level and then builds back up gradually to the height of the island, which I believe is 77 or 78 or something like that. So that's the idea. Again, some of the sections of the island will have a cliff face, a very tall cliff face, and some of them won't. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear. I also need to create a creeper farm or gunpowder farm. And I think the coolest or the best idea that I've had so far for that is a water intake facility. I lean into the realism, at least in this world, I'm leaning into the realism rather than the fantasy. I have built, quite a few fantasy elements within Minecraft as well, but for this specific island, I'm leaning into the real. Nonetheless, a water intake facility right here. It will go down fairly deep, maybe even to bedrock. I'm not even sure. It will serve as infrastructure for the island. So it'll be where the fresh water comes in. Maybe it's a desalination unit or what have you. In Minecraft, it will serve as a creeper farm. It'll be fairly decently sized, maybe 30 blocks by 15 or 20 or something like that. That's all the time we have for today. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I know this is a bit of a shorter one. Yet another busy week for me in real life. I'm going to try to remedy that with my streaming schedule. I'm going to try to stream a good, hour and a half to 2 hours per week that will bring you into, the worlds of Randy Bishop Gaming. It should be a fun time. Please subscribe, hang out. See you next time. Bye.